5 o'clock I'll start. Good evening. Before I move into, thank you for joining. Before I move into the fiat and digital currency, whenever you go to a theater, before they start showing the main movie, they will always show you the trailers of the new movies which are going to come. Today, some movie has come, which I want to talk about it before I go into our main picture of fiat and digital currency. What is this today's movie? You know pretty well, Mr. Trump was elected for the US presidency. After he has been elected, he was keep on saying that he would like to levy tariff for all the goods which are imported into US or exported by various countries. So he has passed an executive order whereby he would like to put tariff for all the goods which are entering US from nearly 60 countries. Some other countries, US has also signed the free trade agreement. I can talk about Singapore, US, there is a free trade agreement. There is a free trade agreement between Korea and US also, which I'm aware. So, what is the impact of this? The tariff for Singapore goods entering US is 10%. So, there is going to be an impact for Singapore exporters. The maximum of the 60 countries I was talking about, the China is badly affected. Previously, they were having a 20% tariff, which is going to increase to by another 34%. It will land up with the highest tariff of 54% if the goods are entering the US. Canada and Mexico, the nearby two countries where they do most of the trade, are excluded from the entire tariff. India is going to have 24%, Japan 24%, South Korea 25%. European countries are going to have a tariff of 20%. What is the impact of this? There is going to be a trade war. All these countries have been expected that there is going to be a tariff of so much is going to come in, which is going to increase the cost of goods which are entering the US. There will be a currency fluctuations, which is going to happen because of the cost of goods is going to increase when they are going to import into the US. Inflation is going to come. When there is going to be an inflation, there is a currency fluctuation will happen. So Monetary Authority of Singapore has said that we will be cautious. We'll be looking into the various aspects of it to see that there is a less impact on the Singapore dollar. Now I move on to our topic for the day, which is between fiat and digital currency. People started asking me what is fiat and what is digital currency. If you ask me how many countries are in the world, I have read so many times there are 195 countries in the world, of which 140 countries are members of the OECD, Organization of Economic Cooperation, and Organization of Economic Cooperation and OECD, Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development. What is happening is, when I say 195 countries are there, each country has got their own currencies. So it's also called sovereign currencies. Why you call as sovereign currencies? Because each country controls the currency. They do the printing of the currency. They circulate the currency. They monitor the currency. They look after the inflation. which is called sovereign currencies also. They call sovereign state, sovereign currencies. In the good old days, what they were doing is they always, before printing a currency, they used to keep gold reserves. Equivalent of that gold reserve, they were printing the currencies. So the currencies which are in circulation are backed by the gold reserves. That habit start coming down in all the countries. They started printing and printing the currencies, putting into circulation without any backing of gold. So inflation started climbing more and more because the notes are in circulation, not backed by gold. Inflation started coming up in countries. The worst inflation was in Venezuela, where the currency's valuation is unpredictable. People used to rush to supermarkets to buy things. Before they put the stock in the shelves will be clear because people rush up to hoard things because they can't predict when the currency is going to fluctuate. You can talk about few more countries, but that's not the issue here. The issue is that there is no more backed by gold, which was the concept earlier. Before going into gold, I would like to tell you, before printing currencies, the medium of exchange was barter trade. What do you mean by barter trade? I may have sugar, you may have wheat. I will bring my sugar and tell you I have so much of wheat. Can we exchange the goods between both of us? So, because the currency, the denominating factor was not there, so I give them my wheat, they will give me sugar, and that's the way the goods were transacted. It was very difficult to do business because you have to determine what is the quantum of which you're going to give the wheat to get the quantum of sugar from the other party, because there is no medium of exchange. Then the currency started coming in and medieval level, I think 17th century, 18th century, or prior to that, maybe I've not looked into that. The currency started coming in and then the gold reserve started making and the currency was floated. So what do you mean by fiat currency is that which is not backed by gold. The sovereign countries started issuing currencies is called fiat currency. What is digital currency? After the financial crisis, some people in the internet, it is not a sovereign, no country has come out with a digital currency. Someone in the internet, in a pseudonymous name called Satoshi Nakamoto. I don't know whether it's Japanese or not because it's a pseudonymous name. Presumed pseudonymous person started coming out of the white paper in the internet and started issuing bitcoins, which after which he has come out with their digital cryptocurrency white paper. He said at that time we are going to circulate only 22 million bitcoins will be released for all. Means they are not going to print more than 22 million. To my knowledge, 20 to 21 million bitcoins have been circulated. Balance of coins have not been circulated yet. How the bitcoins are circulated in the market? You have to mine bitcoins. What do you mean by mining bitcoins? You have a computer system, you sit in the computer. Now today, I'm talking about 2008, 2011, during the time the white paper was published. They put the Bitcoin cryptocurrency into the internet. You can have one computer and start mining using some of these software programs because you have to solve some problems for them. You work for them. And then they will start giving you, after you have mined, worked hard for them, they will give you the bitcoins. It will appear. In 2011, the Bitcoin value was only 30 cents US dollar. today's valuation. I'll give you in a chart at a later presentation how the 30 cents have evolved to today's price. Before I start the talk today, first in the morning when I entered the office, I made a note of the value of the Bitcoin today. It's US dollar, $82,740 US dollar. Equivalent of that in Singapore dollar is $110,230. One Bitcoin. You will always ask, how do I use a Bitcoin? Before I talk about the various qualities of a Bitcoin, I will tell you how a Bitcoin can be used, because it has got 8 decimals. Means the valuation of this 110,230 is in 8 decimals, so that easy for you to go by points, so that it can move, because there is no visibility for a digital coin. Please understand. Fiat currency has got visibility. You have notes printed, circulated by sovereign governments, I told you. Digital currency was introduced in the internet by Satoshi Nakamoto and group of people with a white paper. It doesn't have any shape. If you see the Bitcoin in my flyer, this is what they call a Bitcoin. They make a Bitcoin to look like that. I used to tell people this. All the Hindus pray to various gods. Maybe you may be praying to 50 to 60 different gods. Each one have affection. Some of them may have more than one god. They pray to 5, 6, 7 gods. But no one has seen the god personally. But you give a shape to God and start praying in various forms. The same case, the Bitcoin, which becomes on a round coin, is what is being presented to us as Bitcoin in the market. There is no shape because it moves from wallet to wallet. When I say move from wallet to wallet, it moves from electronic wallet to electronic wallet, internet based. So if I want to have a Bitcoin, I open a wallet account, electronic wallet account, and pick up my Bitcoin. And the man who is going to sell the Bitcoin to me, the exchange, is going to transfer from his electronic wallet to my electronic wallet. So both of us can't see the currency. I've explained to you that only 22 million Bitcoins are going to be circulated. So it is restricted. Not like US dollars being printed and circulated, or British pounds printed and circulated. Anytime they will circulate in future also, print and circulate in future also. You can ask me how many people are using this Bitcoin. Nearly 500 billion people globally are using Bitcoins out of the total population of 8 billion. You can remove those people who are very old or who are very young, below 10 years old. The percentage of users will be roughly 6% of the total population. A lot of people have got FOMO also, fear of missing out. I will come later whether to invest in Bitcoin, whether to own a Bitcoin, what is your advice to keep as an investment at Bitcoin, all those things I'll come back. And even if any questions you have to ask me, you can talk to me later, because the third or fourth time I'm talking about Bitcoins. In Singapore, 24.4% of people own it. I have also another chart to tell you how much of Bitcoins is owned by various people. They hold it as an investment. When you come to digital currency, people always scared because it is difficult to report if you lose it, because you are not in a sovereign country. Sovereign money is lost where you go and make a police report. Here also you can make a police report. I'm not saying if you lose a Bitcoin, you cannot make a police report, but it's difficult to trace it. But people are always skeptical about Bitcoin because money laundering, terrorism financing, proliferation. Proliferation means financing for mass destructive arms and ammunitions manufacturing. Financing for that. And sanctions, evasions, theft, hacking, cyber crimes, and fraud, take place more on the crypto side rather. It's also happening on the fiat side. I'm not saying it is not happening in the normal currency. It's also been, Bitcoin is also been, digital currency means there are more than 1,400 digital currencies are available in the market today, which I'll go into detail and explain to you, out of which Bitcoin is the leader. More than 70 to 80% of the total money in circulation, roughly $2 trillion of digital currency in circulation, more than 70% is all in only one coin, which is the Bitcoin, which is a leader of the cryptocurrencies or digital currencies. The rest of it, 1,400, follows that. I'm going to show you also on a later presentation the top 10 digital currencies which are in circulation in the world today. Gold was always compared because it is easy to do market capitalization. Gold has got a market capitalization of $11.5 trillion in the world today. To Bitcoin to reach that level in value, because they have said very clearly, we are not going to give you more than 22 million circulation, means you have to divide the gold price today of 11.5 trillion divided by 22 million, it will come to, that means Bitcoin, which is today 110,000 Singapore dollars, has to come to $500,000 to maintain the value of the gold price, which I don't feel is going to happen. We do not know. We can't predict that. Two days back, my son was asking me, crypto is not a currency. But I looked into that and then I found out there is no difference, much difference between a currency and a crypto. They may call it as intangible assets in the accounting parlor. Valuation may be difficult for you. There are different ways of valuing it also, but it's not easy like a currency because bank can give you a confirmation. Even crypto exchange can give you a confirmation, but still it is difficult to determine the value of a crypto because the fluctuation is like a roller coaster. Can you call crypto as money like gold? Crypto assets are generally divisible into smaller units, which is also possible in a fiat currency. Are countable and fungible. Fungible means unit of accounts. Are used to hedge against inflation, store of value. Are used to buy and sell goods, medium of exchange. It's possible through using crypto. If you look at it, El Salvador, one of the countries near US, has made, which were using US, one of the tiny islands near US, near Cuba, was using US dollar as a medium of exchange and then moved into crypto. Today, the citizens of that country or the foreigners who come, they have a crypto wallet to buy and sell through using crypto as a medium of exchange. As such, crypto assets generally meet the criteria for the definition of money. Now I move into my presentation to make you understand what I mean by these two currencies. So I will move into fiat currency first and then move to crypto. Crypto is a very huge subject now, which I do not know whether I'm afraid to cover. I will do my best to cover, or I'll make you understand what is the most important things in this. This bunch of topics are there. There are 38 presentation is there. I'll try to do my best to cover everything. So barter trade, as I was telling you earlier, the Roman Empire was using barter trade 7th century. Sorry, I was telling you about 10th, 11th century. So 7th century itself, the paper money has come. So prior to that, the barter trade would have been in place. When I say fiat money, that means no more holding of gold to print currency. In 1971, the shift to fiat money occurred after 71 when the US left the gold standards. So fiat money, today most currencies are fiat money is value-based and trust. The issuing government not backed by physical commodities, as I was telling you, there's no gold backing. Now today when I was talking about gold as a reserve, they are keeping it as a security. Buying gold and keeping as a reserve as a security now. A lot of countries use also commodities as a reserve. Wheat, rice, all these things, food products. China keeps all the poultries and all those things, also keep it as for security reasons. Some countries keep oil also as reserves to security, to meet if emergencies and demands when there is going to be a war or there is going to be a disaster, calamity happens, or even COVID times, you might have seen a lot of people were trying to keep the storage of these essential items. So I've explained to you already what is fiat currency. I've moved quickly so that I can cover most of my topic. As I told you very clearly, when you print and print currencies, risk of inflation and revaluation of the currencies all will happen. Now I move to a very important topic, which is about CBDC, which is what CBDC? It comes under fiat currency, okay? Normal currencies issued by current countries. What do you mean by central bank digital currency? Only thing is, it is digital in nature, but a normal currency. A lot of countries in the world want to make, instead of printing paper and circulating it, now people are transacting business through internet. Even payments are made to QR pay and various type of payments are being made. So we are not seeing the physical money. So the governments have started thinking, why can't we circulate digital currency, which is called central bank digital currencies? Because central bank issue the notes, they are also responsible for the digital currencies. China want to move the first sovereign digital currency in the world, like South Korea, Japan, Singapore, Thailand, Sweden, Australia, Canada, Finland, Britain, and European central banks. All countries try to have a digital currency. But it looks to me that China is ahead of most of the countries. When I'm going to talk to you more about it, you can understand how China is in advanced stage, or I don't say advanced stage, they already started doing the central bank digital currencies in circulation. You are aware that central bank digital currency in China itself has started going out, providing finance for a lot of countries for major projects in those countries. I'm going to come to the next slide to explain to you most of the projects which they are doing in the world and how the payments are settled through the central bank digital currency of China. The examples I've given, world trade volume of 35% will bypass the SWIFT system. Today's system is SWIFT system. Most of the transactions, most of the countries in the world quote for purchase and sales in US dollars. And all transactions are routed through SWIFT, goes through 4 or 5 banks. Primarily, it goes to US for each transaction of US dollar goes to the US and come back for settlement. But when it comes to digital currency, it doesn't have a central system whereby I'm going to explain to you how it happens. There is no SIP system. The cost is also reduced considerably. The Middle East suppliers paid through digital RMP for a Hong Kong Abu Dhabi contract. The same case, China built up in Indonesia between Jakarta and Bandung railway speed rail system was built by China and it was settled through the central bank digital currency. Means it bypassed US dollars The payments of the loan was given by China in RMB through the central bank digital currency, and the repayment was made by Indonesia back to China in the form of RMB. Same case for Thailand, also settled through digital RMB. China Laos railway, there was a railway, the speed rail again was constructed from Laos to Kunming in China. For this also financed by China, which has been settled in central bank digital currency. So the blockchain technology used by the digital RMB not only makes transactions traceable, but also automatically enforces anti-money laundering rules. I'll explain to you what is blockchain technology. When they have come out with when they come out with the Bitcoin and all the digital currency, the blockchain technology has come along with that. The blockchain technology, what is that blockchain technology? It is difficult to do any crime in a blockchain technology because it is a digital ledger posted to so many places whereby it is difficult to erase the transaction which has been created. So the blockchain technology makes life easier, difficult to penetrate, difficult to do hacking, cyber crimes, or money laundering. So the blockchain technology you used very well, more than the second fastest moving cryptocurrency, which is called Ethereum. So Ethereum transactions are all called digital contracts, which are following blockchain technology, whereby the transactions or digital contracts are made and executed throughout the world. If Bitcoin is important, the second Ethereum coin is also most important, which I will talk to you later when I go through my other transparencies. To conclude, 23 central banks around the world have joined this RMB project and has built a digital payment network covering 200 countries. China's global vision of Built and Road project to fund various countries are also achieved through the digitalization of the RMB. Now, I finished on fiat currency. Now moving into crypto. I told you earlier the birth of digital currency through Satoshi Nakamoto. Sorry, I said 2-3 times Satoshi. It is not Satoshi, it is Satoshi. I've written wrongly here. It should be Satoshi. Satoshi Nakamoto is the one who come out of the white paper, which I explained to you earlier, how the birth of the crypto. As I told you, there are more than 1,400 different types of cryptocurrencies in the world. Each one uses a different currency. There is, you may go in to buy any of these currencies, put it in your electronic wallet or e-wallet, they call it, and it sits on the blockchain technology. It is difficult to erase. I told you that it should be 22 million, not 21 million. Sorry for the error. So 22 million Bitcoins will be released. Presently, 20 million is mined. So nearly 1 to 2 million balance of Bitcoins are going to be mined. Now, can I go to mine Bitcoins where if I mine a Bitcoin, I will get 110,000. One mine, if I mine one Bitcoin, I get $110,000. I want to tell you a story now. Bitcoin mining was very, very easy in 2011 because most of the coins were not being circulated. When you start mining, you put 15 computer system in your house, start trying to mine, you may get a Bitcoin with little efforts. Today, they make it very difficult to mine Bitcoins. In China and other countries, they used to put rows of computers to get more volume and capacity to mine bitcoins. Lot of electricity was consumed. When huge electricity was consumed, the electricity department in that country can know that somebody is trying to mine bitcoins. So that's the way they catch most of the people. When China wanted to ban the bitcoins, mining of bitcoins, they started catching all those guys who have huge consumption of electricity and then find out that this guy is engaged in mining. When the petrol price moves down from 100 US dollar per gallon to $30, they always say that they will stop doing uh, exploring the oil. Reason is that the cost of production is going to exceed 30 US dollar because there is no use of producing by digging and trying to pump oil where the production cost will exceed 30 US dollar. The same thing has happened to the Bitcoin today. You put sophisticated computers and try to mine it. You may spend like $500,000 to take out one Bitcoin, which will cost you only $100,000. It's not worthwhile doing mining the Bitcoin by putting up extraordinary computer system and coverage and try to do mining. If you like to learn more about the knowledge on computer, Bitcoins and other digital tokens, there are a lot of websites are available. You can go into that. Various speakers are there. Various speakers speak about the Bitcoins. And you can also pay a tuition fee to gather more information by going into coinmarketcap.com, Coursera, fees payable for few courses. You can enroll in that and get to know about Bitcoins. I was telling you the prices of Bitcoin over the years. 2011, it was 30. Then it moved to, you see the prices at which it has moved up. Today, 2025, it was 93,396, which is all in US dollar. I was telling you there's a volatile in the value of the Bitcoin. In the Bitcoins, today value is 82,740. When people ask me whether I can invest in Bitcoin, I always tell them it's a roller coaster. I give you the advice now before I conclude to advise whether to put your money in Bitcoin. You may not have to worry or fear of missing out on the Bitcoin. My advice to you is to keep 5 to 10% of your money, which you don't need it, which you treat as you have been spent the money, you don't need the money. Then put that money in Bitcoin. Do not try to encash it. Have a lot of patience. When the Bitcoin goes above the price at which you have invested, and if you want to encash it, encash it. Otherwise, leave it as it is. If you need the money at all times, then won't have the FOMO effect, fear of missing out. Forget about Bitcoin. Start continuing to lead your life. But if you can spare 5 to 10% of your money, then leave it. Think that you already spent the money. You don't have to worry about whether it goes up or down. And then you try to sell it when you feel that it has exceeded the cost in which you have invested. Very interesting news I want to tell you. In 2012, 2013, some of them were used Bitcoin to buy pizzas. Today, those people are crying and crying and crying. Because if they have retained those Bitcoins, say for example, even if 3 or 4 Bitcoins they had, it's worth $500,000 today. Instead of buying a pizza and eating that pizza. The most 10 popular cryptocurrencies in the world I've given you. It is Bitcoin, Ethereum, I was telling you where contracts are made. You have Binance Coin, and you have Litecoin, Ripple, Dogecoin, Smart Chain, Dash. All these coins are most traded among the 1,400 Bitcoins. If you go into any of the Bitcoin buying, selling exchange, most of the Bitcoins, 1,000 to 1,200 Bitcoins, will be put into the row to tell you what price you can buy these coins. Always people stick on to the top 10 so that they feel which is easy to trade in these top 10. Because the volume of trading takes place more in the top 10. I've told you what is digital currency. I've told you also the adoption, what is the advantage and disadvantage. People ask me, is Bitcoin, people keep it as investment, is it in circulation? Yes, it is in circulation, but it cannot replace, it can go parallel, it can go concurrently along with your fiat currency or fiat currency or your normal sovereign currency, but it is not in circulation. I do not know when it's going into circulation. That as parallelly, either you pay in your US dollar or pound sterling or euro or pay it in Bitcoin. That situation has not come. Some people say that, like, you have a ride in Grab, you may pay it, settle it in Bitcoin. You go and buy a Tesla car, you can settle it in Bitcoin. These are all talks in town, but it is not a parallel currency like the sovereign currency of any country in the world, except in El Salvador, where they have adopted, instead of US dollar, crypto as the medium of exchange. What is the ownership of crypto in the world? United States has got the maximum number of customers, 30.4% of the people uses it. The 11.4% is the world information. I got the latest information, which is 24.4% of the population uses it. Vietnam is a big user of Bitcoin. A lot of people keep it in the form of currencies. India is not there. A lot of people in India also uses the crypto, which I touch upon at a later stage. I talked to you about crypto mining and crypto exchange. It is difficult to get license in most of the countries, in the developed countries like Singapore, or jurisdiction like Hong Kong, Britain, China, because they are very, very skeptical on the Bitcoin. Bad news for crypto. So what has happened is China started banning, China started not to make people to do mining because it's huge consumption of electricity. Most of them have moved to US, Texas areas where they started mining the crypto. Banks, usually Basel Committee decides on the banks in Switzerland. If anybody wants to hold cryptocurrencies, Basel Committee on Banking Supervision Planning to have the toughest capital requirements for that. I was talking to you how crypto is kept. Crypto is kept in a crypto wallet. You have got hot wallet, cold wallet. You kept it in a digital format, or online wallets are also there. Then you can also store it in like a pen drive, which stores also your. But if you lose the pen drive, you lost the crypto money because it is stored into that. It is difficult for you to retrieve. If you have lost it, it is impossible to retrieve. Crypto exchange are there in the world where you can give the normal currency and buy crypto and credit your account in the crypto wallet. And if you want to convert back into normal currency, which is also possible, you have to open an account with a service provider. In Singapore, Coin Echo is there. Binance is also there. But Binance hasn't got a license in Singapore. Binance has got a license in Dubai. They are number one in the world is the crypto exchange. Second one is Bybit, which is also having their office in Dubai. In the Facebook, I have seen and read a lot of people coming out to say, I can get you a crypto license in some of the jurisdictions in the world. I do not know whether it is easy to get a crypto license, whether you get it or not. The customers have to trust you and start parking the crypto wallet with you to see that you provide a custodian service for your customers. The bad news is there is one FTX, an agent a crypto custodian was made bankrupt in the US. Huge money was deposited to him by banks and various institutions. He has not segregated the client's money with his money. He has misused most of the money and he was sentenced in the US 2 years back. It's one of the biggest crypto fraud incidents which took place. So crypto has also, the Three Arrow was another company in Singapore. They have not kept the difference between the client's money. Like banks keep the client's money separately and banks' money separately. They don't mix it together. So some of these people who got licenses earlier, like Three Arrows and all these things, they have not kept it as a custodian account, whereby they misuse it. Even these websites, and I was talking about Bybit, was also hacked. I will come to that later on. Who are all the hackers in the world, and who are the people who are trying to rescue these hackers and try to save them from losing money in the cyber crimes. Okay, very interesting thing I want to tell you. If you're going to have a crypto wallet, how do you access a crypto wallet, and how do you show a crypto wallet, and how do you draw your money from your crypto wallet? They use seed phrase. What do you mean by seed phrase? You always have a password when you use your bank account. You go to ATM machine or you want to transfer money in the internet, you always use a password, ID and password. When it comes to crypto wallet, you have to use seed phrase. I give you an example. The seed phrase may be like quality, smile, tangle, climate, loss, manager, idiot, class, kind, twist, wire, trust. So these words you have to use, and they should be in this same chain of words. If you change these words which are there in the chain of words, it will not work. It will work only you put it in the same seed phrase, then only you can access your crypto wallet. You hold your cryptocurrency and NFT, non-fungible tokens. I'll talk to you about later. That's a different ball game and a subject. You need a digital wallet, and these are all the service providers in the market. You can make a note of it. Go into the website, have the curiosity to find out how these people offer you for a service of holding a crypto wallet for you. Companies holding crypto assets. See, a lot of companies hold crypto assets. Tesla, the company car, which I was telling you earlier, prepared to accept the crypto as a medium of exchange to purchase Tesla cars. They are holding more than $1 billion worth of Bitcoins, 9,720 Bitcoins. So the value will change on a daily basis. When you have extra money in your bank account, the money will not grow. But if you put your money in a Bitcoin, due to the fluctuation, due to the currency strengthening, Bitcoin strengthening, you may get more money. So I want to tell you, there are so many asset management companies, big, large asset management companies in the world. All of you know about BlackRock, Fidelity Investment, Vanguard, State Street Global Advisors, JP Morgan Asset Management. These are all asset management companies. You will be surprised when I tell them the assets under management will all be in $1 trillion for all the 5 companies I mentioned earlier to you. BlackRock has got more than $8 trillion. You mean to say these people will not put their money in Bitcoin and keep as reserve for them? BlackRock has put $67.7 billion in Bitcoin. Fidelity has invested $81.2 billion in Bitcoin. That means these people are confident that Bitcoin will one day fetch them a return also on their investments. And also the Magnificent Seven companies. Magnificent Seven, why I call it Magnificent Seven? There is, in the US stock market, in S&P, there are 500 companies which forms the index. The top 7 companies, which forms 47% of the value of the S&P 100, is called Magnificent Seven. They are Microsoft, Apple, Nvidia, Alphabet, which is Google, Tesla, Meta Platforms, and Amazon. These 7 companies, capitalization is 40% of the exchange. These Magnificent Seven companies also hold a lot of Bitcoins in their cash reserves. I move to stablecoin. What is stablecoin? Stablecoin is where a crypto, say for example, is backed by a US dollar or a Singapore dollar, it becomes a stablecoin. Like when they are printing currencies, I was telling you, they always backed by gold. That means they keep 5 kilos of gold, and equivalent of that, they print the currencies. So the currencies they printed doesn't lose value because backed up by 5 kilos of gold. The same case in a stable coin situation, they keep the US dollar. If you're going to put 10,000 US dollar, 10,000 equivalent of Bitcoin is backed by that. So that will have always a stability in the value of the Bitcoin. That's the reason why it's called stable coin, because pegging is there. So people deal in stable coins, which is also available in the wallet, because they're all backed by, you give them 10,000 US dollar and say you want to buy a stable coin, you can buy the stable coin because backed by the equivalent of the currency. And this stable coin can also be made into fixed deposit, which also earn fixed deposit interest. Normal Bitcoins, they may depreciate 50% and take it as deposit and give you the interest rate. But when it comes to stable coin, they give you equivalent of that and give you the fixed deposit interest rate. Supported stable coins, I told you already, stable. You have Binance US dollar, then you have got Tether, you have stable US dollar, USD coins, True US dollar, GBP stable coin, and Euro stable coins are all available in the market. MAS has come out with a regulation. What are the requirements for a stable coin if you're going to issue the stable coin in Singapore? I talked to you about El Salvador, which is using as a legal tender from 2021. DBS Private Bank has got a DBS X. They also issue digital exchange. They have a digital exchange only for their accredited and institutional customers. They allow you to buy and sell Bitcoins. Saxo also has come out with crypto trading. You can trade in Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoins because these are the top 10 coins which I've mentioned earlier, which has got more circulations, and you can buy and sell these coins through this exchange. Make a note of all these exchange. Do a study of all these things to understand more about how to buy and sell Bitcoins in the market and opening a electronic wallet with them. PayPal also launched Bitcoin, how to buy and sell in the UK. Binance also issued Binance Visa card. So you can go and study this Binance website and understand more. Nowadays, what has happened is private bankers, which always take private wealth of people and start investing them in various stocks, portfolio bonds, private equities, properties, also advise them in investing in crypto market. So Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, and UBS the world's largest private bankers have started advising clients to also invest in crypto. Decentralized centralized finance, commonly as DeFi, is a blockchain-based form of Bitcoins where it sits on blockchain technology, uses Ethereum to make also contracts. I was telling you, electronic contracts are made out of that. Smart contracts are developed to enable buying and selling of these things are easier. Now, US has come out with, and BlackRock has come out with exchange-traded crypto stocks. That means ETF, exchange-traded funds. If you're afraid to put money in Bitcoin, you can go into ETF, exchange-traded funds, purchase these exchange-traded funds, which in turn put the money into the various type of Bitcoins. In the US stock exchange, a lot of ETFs are there, which only invest in various type of Bitcoin companies. I was talking to you about having a stable coin and get into the investment and get the return on fixed deposit. Donation in crypto is also possible in Singapore to Red Cross, Food Bank, Daughters of Tomorrow, Cycling Without Age. In Dubai, you can also buy properties by giving Bitcoins. Now I move to country-wise to find out what these countries are talking about Bitcoins. Japan is set to revise its financial regulation to classify Bitcoin and other currencies as financial products. They all want to get into the Bitcoin. So that's the reason why they are trying to come out with the financial regulations to see that they make the Bitcoin as in circulation and regular currency. One or two has passed recently crypto laws, giving crypto licenses. They have different types of application. They come out with Virtual Asset Services Providers Act recently to allow people to invest in Bitcoins also. Cryptocurrencies in India market, when I talk about India, WazirX, CoinSwitch, Cuba, ZipPay, Unocoin, CoinDCX, we can go to these websites and purchase Bitcoins. Cryptocurrency popularity among users in India, they instead of buying gold, they are now moving into the crypto coins because gold price doesn't fluctuate to the extent what a coins can get them more money. You saw the volatility in value. The 30 cents has become 98,000 US dollar in 2025. So people in India, instead of buying gold, they are going into these websites and purchase Bitcoins. Unfortunately, in India, the Indian tax authorities, have said that we will levy 30% tax if you're going to deal in crypto. You can go into WazirX to buy and sell Bitcoins. Also Cuba. As I told you, in India, the crypto has become new gold coin. Recently, I read it in the parliament that they have announced that we used Google Map, WhatsApp, and Instagram to identify those guys who are holding cryptos in India and collected huge tax amounted to 2 billion rupees. So they are accessing the social media to see that how much of Bitcoins you carry and then tax them for holding these Bitcoins. The recent amendment made to the tax laws allows them to use social media to gather information to tax the tax residents there. Before that, I have to tell you about two other countries, which is about Australia. There are a lot of ATMs are established in Australia where people can go and draw. I have seen ATM machines in Singapore also. They have now withdrawn. Bitcoins, when they give license for people to buy and sell Bitcoin, they said that you cannot advertise. You can only deal with accredited investors and institutional investors, not with the common man. No retail sales. I have seen the Bitcoin ATM machines in France Center also. All of them have been removed. One in Thompson Plaza. The other one is in France Center. I saw myself personally, but all of them removed. But ATM machines are common in US. There are more than 32,000 ATM machines in the US, 3,000 machines in Canada, 1,200 machines in Australia. So when it comes to Singapore, there are 19 digital payment licenses or issued to deal in crypto under the Payment Services Act. And Bybit, CoinMaco, Independent Resolve, all of them have got licenses. Now you can make payments for Grab payments, I was telling you earlier. Also, nightlife group Zook has also allowed you to pay in Bitcoins. And SGH is trying to list open-ended Bitcoin future contracts shortly. When I talk about the US after President Trump has taken over, you vote to make US the crypto capital of the planet. On 6 March 25, he signed another execution order to create strategic Bitcoin reserves, as well as digital asset stockpile, because Bitcoin alone doesn't form the crypto. I told you 1,400 coins are there. The headwinds have become tailwinds. So it is most welcome in US. US will not sell any Bitcoins in the reserves. You can ask me how they got the reserves of Bitcoin. You know, government wants about 200,000 Bitcoins. I'm talking about US government, worth about $17 billion. I have not calculated as on today's rate, because today is roughly 100,000, 98,000 to 100,000 US dollar. It will come to nearly $20 billion, not US 17 billion. All these Bitcoins are acquired through confiscations and forfeitures, where they saw all these illegal activities, and then the government has the right to forfeit, and the 200,000 Bitcoins have come through that channel. They have not put any surplus of the budget into the Bitcoins to keep it as a reserve. As I told you, US has come out with ETF on Bitcoins. BlackRock, one of the asset management companies, have come out with that. US also approved spot Bitcoins to trade in the US stock market. Now, before I conclude, I have to tell you about what's happening in the Bitcoin scene. North Koreans are world famous for hacking these crypto websites, and they are called crypto thieves in the world. Why they do it? They've been asked to do it to fund for because of sanctions, they are not getting foreign exchange. They need money for all the tests they carry on for the missiles. You might have seen so many missiles North Korea is trying to do. They keep on saying our missiles can reach China, the center of China, or meet the Japan, or go beyond to various countries. So all these things, they need money to purchase, foreign exchange to purchase. So all young, talented computer specialists are trying to do hacking and to see that break the code and try to get as much of Bitcoins, and then try to sell them in the illegal market to see that the foreign exchange is earned to carry out their missile programs. You'll be surprised. I was telling you, Binance is the first biggest Bitcoin exchange in the world. Second is Bybit, both having headquarters in Dubai. Recently, US $1.5 billion was taken away from Bybit. You'll be surprised. The youngsters in Vietnam are very talented, and there's a company called VeryChange, the world's foremost experts on cyber attacks. Within 1 hour's time, when the Bybit was attacked in Dubai, they called these Vietnamese guys to come and try to save the money and save the rest of the clients in not losing the money. They moved in. So usually when any hacking takes place, US FBI and other all experts in the world move to find out who are the culprits in the world trying to take out the bitcoins. And they all always land up in North Korea, where these things are happening. VeryChain, which I was talking about in Vietnam, has offered cyber security solutions for more than 200 global clients, including Binance, the world's largest crypto exchange. Presently, they are working for Bybit to save damages for them from the hacking which the North Koreans have done recently. With that, I conclude. I'm happy to take all questions which are going to come from you. Thank you for listening. Thank you. Correct. Good. Thank you. 21 million is correct, not 22 million. Sorry, what I stated in the presentation is correct. What I wrote in my paper is wrong. I'll correct it. Thank you, Mr. Anand Jain. It is 21 million. Any other questions? Sir, is there any capital gains tax on the profit made in the sale of bitcoins in Singapore? There's no capital gains tax at all in Singapore. Whether you sell property or sell bitcoin, there's no capital gain tax in Singapore. Sir, according to you, what is the biggest risk of investing in a bitcoin other than crypto theft? So today in Singapore, even in normal banking account, $1.1 million is lost by crypto crimes during the last year, 2024. You have to be careful when you get phone calls or when you use all your banking transactions. You will be very careful. The fraudulent people are there around the world. The cyber crimes are happening. You don't have to worry about it. As I told you, if you have 5% to 10%, don't put all your money. Don't be greedy. So that if you lose your money, you don't have to worry about 5 to 10% set aside. Don't in a hurry to sell it because you need the money. Let the money be accumulated even though crypto falls down below your purchase price, keep quiet. When it goes up in the fluctuation, move in and buy it. Sir, is there capital gains tax on the profit made on the sale of Bitcoin in Singapore? I told you there's no capital gains tax in Singapore. Sir, according to you, what is the biggest risk of investing in Bitcoin? I tell you, if you are a risk taker without taking calculated risk, no gain. So 5 to 10% set aside and do it, what your mind say, but don't in a rush up to sell it when you're not meeting your cost price. Is there any way to track on the chain wallets with the name of the investor? You have to access the e-wallet and they take all your personal particulars without. I mean, there are custodians for e-wallets also. That means there is an intermediary to hold your wallet also, for which they charge you a fee. You can go to them so that you're more safer. If you're handling more money, it is better to have a custodian who also monitors and keep your e-wallet, who will keep your identity also. to see that the money can be passed on to you, rather than you directly open a wallet and try to deal with these people. So according to you, what is the biggest risk of investing in Bitcoin other than crypto theft? I told you, I answered this. Is there any way to track on the chain wallet with the name of the investor? I said all the today, because of the money laundering and all the cyber crimes, they are trying to keep all your information, and also for the KYC purposes, they take all the information from you. Do you think Bitcoin will remain banned in China? I'm not the politician in China to decide. They are the second largest economy in the world with $20 trillion after the US of $30 trillion. So it may be a necessity for them to have the Bitcoin also in mind. So I don't feel the door is closed in China. We have to wait and see how they move apart. But they are moving very fast in CBD, central bank digital currency. So we have to wait and see what is going to happen. Is there any way to track on the? Okay, what is the next one? What is your opinion on retaining the document for trading done in crypto for Singapore tax purposes? Singapore doesn't tax it. Why do you worry about it? Keep the track of all the information. It is also good for you to explain to them that how you got your money and how do you spend your money. KYC requirements, better keep the documents. There is no taxes in Singapore. I'm very, very clear on that because there is no capital gains tax. What is your opinion on reading the document? Okay. Anything else? What's any other questions? Any other questions? There is nothing wrong in buying, using crypto to buy a property or anything, because you might have transferred your hard-earned money, which is a fiat currency, into a digital currency in the form of a Bitcoin and kept it in a wallet and use it to purchase the property. There's nothing wrong in that. You can always give the source. So it is legal to buy a real estate. There's nothing wrong in that. I'm only waiting for the day where the crypto also is used parallelly like to a legal tender. I do not know whether it's going to happen or not. It has not happened from 2011 till today. It is also used as a medium of exchange, but it is not used parallelly to a legal currency as on today. It may happen. I do not know. How do we differentiate between capital gain and business income through trading done? See, if you do trading, it becomes a normal business, it becomes a revenue income. If you do if you do not do, say for example, you are an electronic dealer and you buy a property and sell a property, it becomes a capital gain. It's an isolated transaction. There you say it's a capital gain. Buying and selling electronic items is a revenue income. But if you buy and sell properties continuously, it becomes a revenue income. It's not a capital gain. Investment holding company, right? Investment holding company, you hold investment in properties, it becomes a revenue income. Investment in shares, buy and sell, is a revenue income. If you are in an electronic trader and do buying and selling shares as an isolated item, you are a timber trader, buy one property and sell, it's a capital gain. That's the way you have to differentiate. What is your regular course of business? That has to be looked into. So I've clearly defined what is capital gain and what is a revenue income and a capital gain. Thank you, Vidya. Anything else? Any more questions? Feel free. It is free. I'm not going to bill you for the time spent. Uh, 40 people are still there, but they are not asking questions. Don't be afraid. You are not seeing me. You put it in the question format. Your life is easier for you. You put a passion to read things. You will have interest to read. You will interest to understand. Then, if you have doubt, start asking people what is I couldn't understand between this and that. Then your curiosity has to make you learn more and more. If there are no more questions coming in, I thank you and have a very nice weekend. And we'll see you on Monday to work, those who are coming to work in the organizations here in Singapore. Just a moment, huh? How much more high do you think will Bitcoin go in price? They said very clearly only 21 million is going to be in circulation. So it is not going to be more than 21 million in circulation, in which case it's best to buy and keep. Buy one Bitcoin, maybe one Bitcoin is $98,000 in today's price, US dollar, 100,000, 110,000 Singapore dollar. You can buy, it is in 8 decimal. You can buy for 10,000 and keep quiet. If you feel that you can afford to buy 10,000 and keep quiet, it may become 50,000 or 100,000. But certainly it is not going to be more than 21 million in circulation. Certainly, I can share my PPT to anyone else who are interested. I think we are going to post it in the website. You can talk to our office people. They will be in a position to assist you. Who maintains the Bitcoin? Bitcoin sits in the internet. I told you, nobody is maintaining it. It's all in the Bitcoin. It functions itself. And the value is determined by the fluctuation. Also, whenever I read most of the articles, they always say it also connected to gold price. It is also connected to the real economy. Um, After the trade war, which Trump has come out with various tariff now, the all stock market fell down 2 to 7%. Magnificent Seven shares are affected between 2 to 7%. Hong Kong, Japan, India stock market all fell 2 to 3% down. So Bitcoin also fell down. Bitcoin was higher than 82,000 US dollar. It was 100,000 US dollar 1 week back. So, do you ask me whether it's the best time to buy at 82,000 US or 100,000 Singapore? You download Bitcoin price every day when you get up, start seeing it. When you target it at 75,000 US dollar, then buy. You target it at 60,000, buy. But if it goes on, go up again and again, then change your mind, buy it and keep quiet. Because if it doesn't reach below 82,000 US dollar, and if you're planning to do it at 75, my advice you is if it is not moving, if it comes to 80, buy it. How the volume of cryptocurrency calculated? No, because it's in the system. So when they come out for circulation, they know how much is in circulation. They have decided 21 million, 21 million. They know pretty well how much is. It's all in the system, in the internet. If they know that 20 million is circulated, balance of 1 million is due to be circulated, they will do it. And you have to do mining it to get it. It's not easy to mine it today to get it, but people are trying to mine it. Actually, I have not shown you the picture. I have seen the picture where one big factory full of computers are laid down to do mining. What are the legal consequences of failing to report crypto transaction for tax purposes? In Singapore, you don't have to report for tax purposes. In India, you may be required because India tax the crypto transactions. First, to declare what profit you made and pay the tax. If they still want to have the information, then produce all the transactions, including your wallet. What are the challenges faced by auditor doing audit of a company only trade in crypto? See, fair valuation is required based on the closing of the financial year. So on the closing of the financial year, 31st March, you should have Actually, we do a lot of audit of crypto companies. On 31st March 25, we really asked them to open the wallet, calculated all the prices based on the 31st March valuation of the crypto. And you know what is today's valuation of crypto? Then find out whether fair valuation is done, if provision is to be made to bring down the fair value, do it. Computing power with quantum technology is becoming more powerful. Mining crypto may become much easier with a stronger computing power due to cryptocurrency will be devalued. Again, with I know what you're talking about, quantum computing, quantum technology, whether the quantum technology can be applied to do mining. I'm not aware about that. I can do my research because quantum computing is carried out for medical research and various research that they do, which took 10 years to come out with the discovery of a medicine is happening in 6 months today because it can do a volume of transactions, process it, analyze it. Even AI has come and augmented reality has come. So, so I have to find the research to find out whether AI, artificial intelligence, augmented reality, and quantum computing, whether I can mine faster and take out bitcoins. I don't feel it's possible. Otherwise, it would have reached already $21 million. What is the least value of Bitcoin that can be purchased? I told you 8 decimal. You go to any e-wallet. I purchased for $2,000 long back, 5, 6 years back. So it will come in 8 decimal, 0.00043325 if you buy for $2,000 because 8 decimals are there. You calculate when one Bitcoin is 110,000 Singapore, is only 6 digits are there, right? So well, you know what is the 8 digit? So you can buy for $1,000. You can buy for $500. Go into crypto exchange, Coin Echo, and purchase, open an account. Say that I want to buy for $500. He will give you out of the 8 decimals, last 3 decimals will be there. 0.00000, something will be there. So you can buy Bitcoin, even $500, $200. Any more questions? Still 34 participants are there. Questions are not coming. Is there, what is the least value? Okay, is there any gold backed crypto? No, no, no. Countries are keeping gold separately as a reserve, as a security. So uh, the gold is kept as a reserve. I told you, even oil is kept as a reserve. These are all countries' reserves. Like if you want to keep some money in your house as cash as reserve, the same way countries are keeping. Crypto doesn't are backed by gold. Crypto stable coins are backed by currencies, stable currencies. What is the least value of Bitcoin? Okay, is there any gold backed crypto? No. Why do they charge gas fee? They use the word gas fee. There is a fee to be charged. If you go to a private bank and ask them to buy shares for you, they charge you a fee. You ask them to, they call service fee. You ask them to sell the shares, they charge you a service fee. They are holding your money, asset under management, they call custodian fee. The same way you ask the e-wallet guy to buy and sell bitcoins for you, they have to charge a gas fee. They call it as gas fee. Okay. So there is a fee. Mr. Lee Kuan Yew, when he was the Prime Minister of Singapore, he'll always say there is no free lunch. Means there is a value for everything you do. Do you foresee nations using crypto for buying, selling fuel and ammunition? See, crypto can be used for anything. It's a medium of exchange. When crypto can be used to purchase properties or go to Zouk to dance, crypto can also be used to buying and selling oil. If Saudi Arabia announces we are prepared to sell it to you, or Iran says we prepared to sell it to you, oil for crypto. If suppose North Korea, because they got so much of money, and they say we need oil, and go to Iran and say both countries are sanctioned by the United Nations. I'll give you Bitcoin, give me oil. They may have an understanding which we do not know. It may be happening. So they can be used for buying fuel or ammunition. Usually, when they sell the ammunition, they go for the end user. Even for very sophisticated chip, they look into the end user. So the end user have to be clearly defined when you buy ammunition. If India is manufacturing some weapons and if they are going to sell it, they would like to know who is the end user. How many people are there? Even still 32 people, 33 people are there. If any questions, to please feel free to ask, and then we can conclude. It's already going to be 6:30. Oh, it comes.
So I think you're on mute.
Can you remove the mute? Sorry. Uh, don't feel my question is coming in my name because one of the administrator is using my ID. So the question is coming in my name. Sir, how is going to be difficult if an exchange will collapse? How do we recover the funds like FTX collapse? You can't get any money if it collapses. FTX people, banks have lost heavy money. Big banks have put in 8 million, 10 million, 15 million. It's a huge story. You go into FTX episode, you will get it in the internet. So much of stories how people, big people have lost money. Even in Singapore, there's one guy, he was doing lithium trade um, where the used for all the EV vehicles, the purchase from Australia and selling it to Europe. A lot of people, even learned people, have lost money. Lawyers have lost 8 million, 10 million. Their hard earned money has been invested, is all gone because he was giving 7% return monthly. He's having 30 over charges, not been charged yet. $3 billion lost in Singapore. So it is difficult. I mean, if you invest and it is gone bad, you cannot get your money back unless now Singapore government monetary authority has come out with keeping custodial account your account. That means even though they give you e-wallet, they don't have the access. They can only transfer what are the service charges to their account from the custodian account with your permission. So it's like a bank account where you do not be disturbed. Unless they keep the client money as a separate trust account, saving the money is not easy. How is going to be difficult for exchange will collapse? Yeah, correct. No audio. Yeah, I have now come with audio, I think. Any more questions? Feel free so that we can come to a conclusion. If there is not going to be any more questions going to come, thank you for joining me and thank you for patiently listening to fiat and digital currency. We see you next week. We are going to have a family office topic and have a very nice weekend. Thank you. Thank you.